Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I found another really interesting, unusual museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Honest Charley's Speed Shop Museum. Now, it used to be called the Coker Museum, so if you look it up anywhere on the internet, it's probably going to be called the Coker Museum, but it was Mr. Coker sold out to Honest Charley's company when he was retiring, so that's the name they have on the place now. Established 1948, and it is the world famous Honest Charley Speed Shop, and their speed shop here is still in business. It's open. It's got all kinds of equipment for cars. I think mostly for racing cars. I know I've done a lot of car museum videos on my channel, but this one is different in a lot of ways. It's not only cars and trucks, but specialty type vehicles, a lot of motorcycles, and other various things. So come on in with me and I'll show you. This is the first part of the museum where they have a few old cars. And look at this. It's a tour bus, and they call it the Tennessee. The Tennessee bus. I'm guessing they upgraded to a newer model. Here's one of the Cushman scooters, which they built with lawnmower engines on them. They used to be a big thing. They really were. They don't make them anymore, of course. Look at that key. That's where you put the key. Is right on the engine there. And that shifter knob. It was a unique type of scooter. And they have some more stuff in the warehouse. So let's go look around in here. Look at all these motorcycles. This is kind of what attracted me to it, is their motorcycle collection. Wow. Really, really old Harley. This looks like a newspaper article about the museum. Started by Corky Coker. That's a real tiny engine for a fairly large bike compared to this one. Back in the early days, Harley Davidson made motorcycles with pretty small engines on it. Wow, look at this one. Strange looking engine. Excelsior was one of the competing makes to Harley Davidson. This is one of the early Excelsiors. Here's a 4-cylinder. Excelsior Motor Manufacturing and Supply Company, Chicago. I guess this is the Henderson model. We have a lot of Excelsiors. This one has been very nicely restored. Oh, that chrome just looks new. The green one. I guess they really stuck with the bicycle style tires. Now this is a Thor, Aurora, Illinois. I'm not familiar with that one. Here's an unrestored Thor. Here's a very unrestored Excelsior. And I bet you didn't know, or maybe you do, that Sears used to sell motorcycles and motor scooters right out of their catalog. I remember in the 1960s, my local Sears store had motorcycles and motor scooters right in the store where you could go and buy them. We got a lot of cars here. Kit, this has got to be a really rare brand. Fairly good sized motorcycle with a sidecar. And a spare tire. Nice. A company I haven't heard of, the American. Looks like a fairly luxury car. And this is a Mercer. I've seen those in museums. Now this is one of the most unusual cars they have here. An auto car, they call it. Transportation. It looks like sort of a taxi, a bus of the day, 1912. Wow. I bet it was fun to drive in those days, especially when you had this bulb horn, you just squeeze and honk. Another one I haven't heard of. I think this says Lozier. That's an odd looking one. Got a bulb horn, and look at this. A running board with a gate. So you won't fall out, I guess. We've got a bunch of old cars here. I'm just going to scan through them. And they really don't have identification tags on them. These look like just racers. But yeah, it would be nice if they had tags so you could tell what they all are. And then they also have more modern cars. Oh, look at this one. A three-wheeler. That is very rare. And they got a Volkswagen Bug. Really nice condition. Look at that luggage rack. And the emblem here. Look at this. Wonder what that means. Really nice condition Volkswagen. Got some trucks. Here's another motorcycle with a sidecar. Another one with a sidecar. Got a police motorcycle with a big trunk. Three-wheeler. This is one way people watched movies in the early days of motion pictures for a nickel. You put a nickel in here and you look down in there and you watch. It was just flipping cards. The way the cards flipped made it like a movie. Bunch of more cars, kind of classic style cars here. But again, no tags on them. They got an old candy and cigarette machine. Don't see those very often. I still see cigarette machines once in a while in Indian casinos. Indian casinos have them in some places. Now we're going into some really unusual vehicles here down this row. Wow, this one has 4 seats. And it's made by White, and I've seen a lot of old cars in museums like this made by the White company. And what is this? There's something there. Yellowstone Park Company. That is a touring vehicle where they used to give tours around Yellowstone National Park. I've seen these before some places. This is an old touring vehicle with a lot of seats here. They've got these shoved so close together, can't get in to see the sides. This is another made by White touring vehicle, like the Yellowstone one. Now this is a truck with a really big flatbed here. They've got some other kind of vehicle on it, and all I see for a brand is Diamond T. That's it. I don't know if that's the brand or what. And some more old trucks. It's got a wooden bed frame. And this blue and black one. Here's something. It says 1923 Federal Fast Express flatbed. Interesting. It's got a horse there. And this is a fire truck. This American France company, they have always specialized in making fire trucks. Now this one says Plymouth, so maybe Plymouth had something together with American France. My father was a fireman in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and he was a driver for the fire department, and he drove these American France trucks, and I've been on some of them. Very modern back in the 60s. Chattanooga Whiskey Company. This is another made by White. I bet this has got some history behind it, with 3 barrels of whiskey or something back there. This old truck, it's got the Honest Charley Speed Shop name on it with a motorcycle on back. I wonder what that was used for. Just hauling motorcycles? I don't know. And here's one that's not restored at all. We could really use a paint job. Oh, and look at this little thing. This is a Morris Cooper. Wow, that thing looks like about 4 feet tall. And then this is the sports car section with my personal all-time favorite Jaguar XKE convertible. I didn't care much for the convertibles though. I like the hard tops. I fell in love with those XKEs back in 1970 when I was 18 years old. So here's some more sporty cars. This is Austin Healey. Here's the 1968 Triumph. Wow. And here's an MG. Those are really cool cars too. And here are 3 MGs. Those are really cool little cars too. 2-seater sports cars. And they got a Ferrari. Well, would you like to have this one? That would impress your friends, I think. And this is their Indian motorcycle section. I can't get up close to them. They are blocked off by a rope. They don't want you going back there. But they have several of the old Indians. This is on my bucket list, to go see the Indianapolis 500 one of these years. I'll get there. They also have a couple airplanes hanging from the roof. And they got some of these old posters. Mercedes Overland. I think I remember seeing that somewhere in Pierce Arrow. Well, that's it for this room. Honest Charley. Here's their workshop where they do some restoration work. Coker Tire. Right next door is the Coker Tire Company. So another company bought out the Coker Museum. Honest Charley. And we got more stuff in here. More posters on the wall. You think V8 engines are big? Look at this monster. Guess what brand this is? Yep, Packard. Here's a tag on it. A V12. World War II PT boats. Each boat had 3 engines. Wow, that is huge. There's a lot of engines here. And here's another of their workshops behind this glass. Here's another racer made by Marmon, and I think this Marmon company, may be wrong, but I think they only made racing cars. Boy, you'd never guess. This is a Buick. And here, this one says 1925 Ford Gallivan powered. Never heard of that. And one more, number 13. This has got a poster on it. See what this says. Kenny Larson Special 23 Ford. Interesting. Oh, I got a timeline of the history of the car. Well, folks, this has been a very unusual car museum. I know I've done a lot of car museums on my channel, but each one of them is just so unique. I have never seen two anywhere near alike. Here they've got bicycles. I like that this one has a mixture of cars and trucks and even airplanes. A lot of motorcycles and specialty type vehicles. Those you don't see very often. Look at this, a collection of tube repair kits. Another interesting thing is that some of the cigarette companies got involved in vulcanizing. And here's a Camel tube repair kit. There's another one. Seems strange, but some of the cigarette companies got involved in tube repair kits. Well, this guy that works here just told me that Mr. Coker still has the Coker Tire Company, although he's sold it out and tried to retire. But he still comes and does the restorations. This is a hearse, a white hearse. So Mr. Coker just sold everything to retire, but he still does the restorations. So the guy said he comes into work every day. Here's an old camper that they're trying to restore as well. See the front window there? How about that? I wonder how honest Charley was. I don't know, but I know one thing. If you want to make a phone call in his place, it's going to cost you. Good day, folks.